Very warm welcome to Regina Mundi Church. It became a focal point for Sowetans because of the stance the Catholic Church took vis-a-vis apartheid. Said it is a sin and a crime against humanity.
We shall demonstrate our power in no uncertain manner.
The church would also become a meeting place between police and the youth. So guaranteed every Saturday there was action here.
The police thoroughness in putting down the demonstration.
I want to show you how this railing has been totally wiped out here.
Yeah.
Would you believe then that children's bodies would actually do this? A policeman came through the door and he fired a gun.
Yeah. So imagine the noise the gun made.
Imagine that noise. So there is a massive stampede.
That's this church here, isn't it?
So yeah, you can see the tear gas here. This was a place where police would actually meet the youth every Saturday.
This is an illegal gathering.
So they targeted the kids, the angriest people this country had ever produced. They couldn't believe the parents had fought the system. They were quite willing to fight the system. They're quite willing to fight and die for freedom.
I'm giving you 3 minutes to disperse.
Summer of '76 at home was a time of unbelievable sunshine. I know what I'd have been doing. I'd have been just out morning, noon and night, playing football, riding my bike, doing everything that all the kids love to do. What was going on here was amazing, and for very different reasons, you know.
Desmond Tutu was actually addressing people here one day. Police came in, asked Desmond to shut up. Desmond kept on speaking. The policeman was furious, actually smashed the altar with the butt of his rifle. That's how it got broken.
The thing that strikes you more than anything else, you know, you imagine that it's something that happened hundreds of years ago because you can't imagine the mentality.
We are here to enforce law and order, not to listen to political statements.
You think of this as ancient history, but then you realise just how recent it was.
Kids ask you why, and you cannot explain the why. Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
It's ludicrous, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's ludicrous. The back of the church would face heavy attack through the helicopter gunships. They would attack the church. If you look at the ceiling, you can see the various bullet holes.
When you see bullet holes in the ceilings and you think about, you know, kids up on that stage there that would have been terrified, and it's quite an amazing place to come and visit.
I want to show you this statue here. It has no hands. One policeman came kicking opening the doors of the church. Brought a priest all the way here. He says, "This is what I think of your God." Takes out his gun, bang, bang, shoots the arms off.
Can't even begin to comprehend what obviously went on in this building.
I think it's good that it's left like this as well, because often you'd find the church would be magnificent, full of gold and everything. It's kind of more appropriate that the church is like this. And it's amazing to realise what has been achieved against the background of all this, that there's any semblance of peace now is an incredible achievement. I suppose the World Cup's part of that process for them.
Is there still a bitterness amongst certain areas of Soweto for what's gone on?
Not at all. I think Soweto exemplifies that reconciliation spirit better than any other town in South Africa.
The biggest thing that stands out is that people are not looking for revenge. They're prepared to forgive. It's remarkable, really, how much progress they've made in such a short space of time.
One thing that we keep teaching the rest of South Africa is that reconciliation, it's accomplished here.
South Africa is a country of many races. There is room for all the various races in this country.
It is our country, all of us, black and white.
South Africa belongs to all who live in it. but let's share. There is enough wealth, there is enough land, there is enough space, let's share it.
We want to share this country with you.
That's the lesson Africa is trying to teach the rest of the world. I think it would be great if we learn it, otherwise we'll go the way of the dinosaurs.
Hey Gareth, you had the benefit of being here 20 years ago, so you had a point of comparison with Soweto, having been here the night.
Yeah, I mean, we came here with the Crystal Palace. We were the first team to come after Mandela's release, and we played in this stadium in front of 70,000 people. And you could not have imagined then that this tournament could take place here. And it's impossible to separate the football from the story here, because you know, my memories of this tournament will be as much about the hope that it's given to young people in South Africa that the world could come here. And yes, there's still things that need to be done, there's houses that still need to be built, electricity in certain areas, but the progress they've made is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, we'd been so consumed by football, and then we went in there. It was like a blow to the solar plexus, wasn't it? Almost
Absolutely.
Breathless.
It was, and what struck me about it all is, obviously with all these dark days they've had behind them, is how proud they are of Soweto. I think that people, we sort of driving past, weren't we, in a bus the other day, and you're seeing people living literally in little tin shacks, and yet the kids were running around to greet everybody with beaming smiles on their faces, and all the adults we met there, they were just genuinely thrilled to see us all enjoying the fact that we're taking interest in them and where they live and what's gone on in the past, and it was a very humbling experience, I found.
And football has many useful functions, not least getting these stories told again, lest we forget.
It allowed us to understand what happened clearly, where they were asking not for the white people to go and not to come anymore, just to share. You know, there were plenty rich things, you know, to share and to enjoy, to have access to education also. The black was not having access to education. Simple things like that was the request. And it's great to see it like that. And there's no revenge, you said it. There's no revenge towards the others.
On the way here today, the three of us were in the car, and we mentioned the miracle of what's been achieved here, and our driver, who was F.W. de Klerk's personal bodyguard and P.W. Bota's personal bodyguard, he turned around and said, yes, that miracle was all down to one man. This was a white policeman who looked Mandela in the eye back in '92, he said, didn't he, and said, you know, we had such respect for each other. It's just incredible. And then we see him in the stadium now, don't we?
And it was actually lovely to see
Mr. Nelson Mandela.
To see him appear in the stadium, and you can hear the applause, rapturous applause going round the ground, and because he wasn't able to be at the opening ceremony because of personal tragedy, family tragedy, etc., and his own health. But look at that smile. I think that says it all myself.
And having the World Cup here showed that he was right years ago, 50 years ago, to say that yes, there's space for everybody. Have a look, it's working actually. He's raising his hands to everybody. Look, it has worked, and we are proud about it.
Yeah.
We'll never forget what we've seen here today already with Mandela coming out there, and what we all saw in Soweto. And